Please help me reach 1,000 subscribers. Please subscribe to my channel Emma Diaries. Your support means a lot. Like, share, and turn on the notification bell. Enjoy the video. The message on her phone lit up while she was in the shower. I can't stop thinking about last night. I wasn't supposed to see it. Her phone was on the bed, screen facing up this time, something she hadn't done in weeks. I wasn't trying to invade her privacy. I walked in to grab the charger, and the notification just appeared. First, I didn't react. I just stood there staring at the screen, feeling something inside me tighten slowly, like a knot being pulled too hard, because the name at the top wasn't familiar. But the tone of the message, that was unmistakable. When she came out of the bathroom, she noticed my expression immediately. "What's wrong?" she asked, towel wrapped around her hair, completely calm. I held the phone up. "Who's this?" She looked at the screen for half a second. Just half. Then she smiled. "Oh, him? He's just a friend." Those 4 words. So casual. So rehearsed. And in that moment I realized something important. She didn't hesitate. Not even a little. I nodded slowly, pretending to accept it. Right. A friend. But inside something had already shifted. Because I had heard those words before. And I had already started putting the pieces together long before that message ever appeared. It began weeks earlier. First, it was subtle. She started keeping her phone locked more often. Notifications that used to pop up openly were now hidden. She angled her screen away from me when texting, something she never used to do. "Work stuff," she'd say casually when I asked. And I believed her. At least, I wanted to. But then came the late nights. Running late at the office. Quick meeting. Caught up with a friend. Always just enough explanation to sound reasonable. Never enough detail to feel real. I started noticing patterns. Every time she received a message from the same contact, she would step away to reply. Every time I asked who it was, the answer was vague. "He's just someone I know." "He's no one important." "He's just a friend." The repetition wasn't comforting. It was rehearsed. And somewhere deep down, I stopped hearing the words as explanations and started hearing them as cover stories. One evening, she left her laptop open while she went to grab groceries. I didn't go looking for anything, but the screen was unlocked, and a messaging app was open. What I saw wasn't explicit. Not at first. Just conversations. Frequent ones. Personal ones. Too personal to ignore. Inside jokes. Emotional check-ins. Plans that didn't include me. And one message that stuck with me. "I feel like I can talk to you in a way I can't with him." Him. That was me. I closed the laptop before she returned. And I didn't say anything. Not yet. Because I needed to be sure. Not just suspicious. Certain. Over the next few days I observed more carefully. The way she smiled at her phone in a way she hadn't smiled at me in a while. The way conversations between us felt slightly delayed. Like part of her attention was elsewhere, always just out of reach. Even when she was physically present, something about her felt divided. And I hated that I noticed. Because noticing meant I couldn't unsee it. The breaking point came unexpectedly. We were sitting on the couch one night, watching something neither of us was really paying attention to. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it. Paused. Then quickly turned the screen away. "Who is it?" I asked, trying to sound casual. "No one," she said too quickly. Too quickly. That was the moment. Not the message itself. But her reaction. Because truth doesn't usually hide behind silence. It hides behind hesitation. That night after she fell asleep, I did something I wasn't proud of. I checked her phone. Not because I wanted to hurt her, but because I needed clarity. What I found confirmed what I had already begun to suspect. Their conversations weren't just friendly. They were consistent. Intimate in tone. Familiar in rhythm. He knew her schedule. Her moods. The small details of her day that I used to be the one she shared them with. And she shared things with him she hadn't shared with me in a long time. That's when it stopped being suspicion and became reality. The next morning I acted normal. Too normal. I made breakfast. We talked about random things. She kissed me before leaving for work like nothing had changed. But inside I was carrying something heavy. Not anger. Not yet. Something quieter. Something colder. That evening I decided to confront her. Not aggressively, not emotionally, just directly. Are you seeing someone else? She stopped mid-step, looked at me, and smiled. Not nervously, not defensively, just naturally. No, she said. Why would you ask that? And then she added, almost too casually, he's just a friend. There it was again. That phrase. But this time, I was ready. I saw your messages, I said calmly. Silence. Her expression changed, not dramatically but enough. Enough for the truth to surface without words. You went through my phone? She asked, her voice quieter now. I didn't need to, I replied, because by then I had already connected the dots. The late nights, the guarded phone, the emotional distance, the way she spoke about him compared to how she spoke about me. It all pointed in the same direction. She sat down slowly, not defensive, not denying, just tired. I didn't plan for this, she said finally. That's not how these things start. I nodded. So how did it start? She hesitated. That's the part that's hard to explain. I leaned forward slightly. Try me. What followed wasn't a confession in the dramatic sense. It was something more human. She admitted that they had grown close over time. That conversations became more frequent. That emotional connection developed first long before anything physical, if it had even reached that point. She said she felt understood in ways she hadn't felt in a while. Not as a justification, but as an explanation. And that distinction mattered. Because she wasn't trying to excuse it. She was trying to describe how she arrived there without fully realizing it. For a moment, I felt something unexpected. Not just anger, but sadness. Because I remembered who we used to be. Late night talks, shared laughter, the ease we once had. And now, sitting across from her, it felt like we were two people who had drifted too far without noticing the distance forming between us. Why didn't you tell me? I asked quietly. She looked down. I was afraid of losing both of you. That sentence lingered. Because in trying to hold on to everything, she had already started losing everything. In the days that followed, things became fragile. We didn't shout. We didn't fight loudly. But the silence between us grew heavier. Every interaction carried awareness now. Every conversation was filtered through truth we couldn't ignore. Trust wasn't gone. But it was no longer automatic. It had to be rebuilt. And neither of us knew if that was possible. I found M.